This is the Roborock Saros 10R Robot Vacuum, and I've been using it as my daily cleaner across hardwood, tile, and area rugs. From my experience, the big idea here is its 3.14-inch ultra-slim body with no LiDAR puck on top. That single design change lets it slide under low sofas and beds my older robots never touched. It's the first time I've seen a premium robot reliably cover those lost zones without me moving furniture, and that alone changed how often I noticed dust bunnies under toe kicks and along baseboards. The way it pulls that off is a new sensor stack Roborock calls StarSight Autonomous System 2.0. Instead of the spinning turret, it uses a solid-state LiDAR paired with a 3D time-of-flight sensor for depth and an RGB camera for object recognition. Translation for newcomers: it shoots light to measure distance, reads shapes in 3D, and uses a color camera to identify stuff on the floor. Key features that stood out to me are how it maps quickly and how it can see low overhangs and tight legs under cabinets. It also claims it can identify a ton of common objects. On paper, that's awesome. In real life, I had mixed results at first. Cables and soft items like socks tripped it up a few times. Switching the obstacle mode in the app from the default to sensitive made a noticeable difference. With that change, it became more cautious around cords and stopped dragging them as often. That tweak is worth doing on day one. Vacuuming performance is strong. The 22,000 PSI suction has more than enough pull for everyday grit, and Carpet Boost kicks in aggressively on rugs. What really impressed me is the DuoDivide anti-tangle brush design. It's two rubber rollers that spin against each other and push hair straight into the intake. I have long hair in the house and a shedding pet, and I'm not pulling hair off the brushes after runs. That's rare. The small omnidirectional front wheel also resists winding hair, so I'm not picking at that either. In my opinion, the hair handling system is one of the biggest wins here because it cuts down the most annoying maintenance chore. Mopping is equally thought out. Instead of a passive pad, the Saros 10R uses two spinning mops that scrub. The FlexiArm Riser is the trick I noticed the most. It literally nudges the mop and side brush outward at edges and into corners, reaching the baseboards and the recessed space under kitchen cabinets. If your old robot left a dusty line along the walls, this answers that, because the mop can physically reach past the round body. On mixed floors, it lifts the mops when it senses carpet, and can even leave the mops at the dock if you want a vacuum-only run. That's helpful when you don't want any damp contact with a rug. Mobility is another highlight. The AdaptiLift Chassis can raise and tilt itself to climb thresholds up to about 4 centimeters. In plain terms, it gets over door strips and quirky transitions that stop my previous bots. I've watched it approach, lift, and push over with confidence where others spun their wheels. That's the difference between a full home clean and one room being skipped. A quick word on noise, because it matters day to day. It's quiet for the power it has. Vacuuming is toned down compared to older Roborock models, and mopping is almost whisper level. I can take calls while it runs in the next room without cranking my volume. The dock is where most of the convenience lives. It empties the dustbin for about 60 days depending on your space, washes the mops with hot water up to 176 degrees, and dries them with warm air at 130 degrees to keep them from smelling musty. It also refills the onboard water tank, doses detergent, and self-cleanse. I like that the base tray pops out for a rinse in the sink when you want to freshen it. Two notes though: the glossy front panel looks fancy but shows fingerprints fast, so it needs a wipe if you care about looks. And while the dock is smart, the robot's onboard bins are small. The dustbin is 270 milliliters and the water tank is 69 milliliters. The robot returns to the dock more often to empty and refill, which adds a few minutes to total clean time in larger spaces. The upside is the system handles it automatically. The downside is it feels like more pit stops than some bulkier models. App control is classic Roborock, which is to say polished and packed with options. Multi-level maps, room naming, no-go lines, targeted room or zone cleans, and custom sequences work reliably. You can set suction levels, water flow, and choose between faster passes or deeper scrubbing. Roborock Smart Plan is handy if you don't want to tweak settings. It decides parameters based on room type and dirt it detects. Connectivity is 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi only, so if your router has a combined SSID and leans on 5 GHz, you may need to split your bands or enable 2.4 GHz pairing. Voice control works with Alexa, Google Home, and through Siri shortcuts. The built-in Hello Rocky voice assistant is useful for quick commands without grabbing your phone, and it works even if the internet drops. There's also a camera for remote check-ins and two-way talk, plus a pet search button in the app. It's fun for a quick peek when you're out. If you're privacy-minded, you can disable the video features in settings. Navigation is good at covering floor space and great at threading under low furniture, thanks to the slim profile. But there are quirks. Pathing back to the dock can choose a rug over bare floor when both are available, which is slower. Also, the cable and sock issue I mentioned earlier improved with the sensitive mode, but I still add virtual no-go strips around tangle zones near desks. It's worth the 2 minutes in the app. Battery life is solid. I'm seeing up to around 3 hours on low to medium suction with some mop work mixed in. And the 2.5-hour quick charging feels fast enough between rooms. I rarely worry about it finishing a floor. It either completes the job or tops up and resumes without me thinking about it. It's perfect for homes with low couches or beds, pet hair that usually attacks brushes, and anyone who cares about edge cleanliness. From my experience, the combo of anti-tangle rollers, edge-reaching mops, and the lifting chassis handle daily messes better than other robots I've used, especially in tricky spots along walls and under cabinets. In my opinion, the biggest caution is small floor clutter. If you have lots of loose cables, soft toys, or socks on the ground, you'll get the best performance by switching to sensitive and setting a few no-go areas. Also, be ready to wipe the dock's shiny face now and then. I'd recommend this for people who want real coverage under low furniture, pet owners tired of cutting hair from brushes, and anyone who values a hands-off dock that washes and dries mops properly. If you're the type who wants zero prep and you leave cords on the floor, you might be happier after a bit of app setup or a quick tidy before runs. For those who care about smart features, the app control, voice options, and the camera pet tools are genuinely useful without being complicated. In conclusion, the Roborock Saros 10R balances strong mechanics with evolving smarts. The slim body, anti-tangle design, edge mopping, and climbing ability deliver consistent, visible results. The software side is powerful but benefits from a few setting tweaks to handle everyday clutter. If you can give it a small amount of help with cables or boundaries, it pays you back with thorough Ben, low-maintenance cleaning, and far fewer dust lines along the edges. I'll leave the details about the Roborock Saros 10R Robot Vacuum and Mop in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.